Hey every peoples, Marcus from 5th Ace Comics here, and welcome to our first official session of Ironsworn. If you haven't seen the session 0 that came before this, you might be a little bit lost, so check it out in the playlist. We used session 0 to set up our world and define our character, and now, here in session 1, we are going to officially play the game. So, our character for this game of Ironsworn is Tamara, an Iron Warden. She is basically one of the guardians of this land. The Iron Wardens serve as the militia and town guards for the people of the Ironlands. And Tamara is the warden at a little town called Mournfield. You check it out here on the map. Here's Mournfield over here, this tiny little isolated town along the ragged coast. She's originally from Newmount, where she grew up, but because she is descended from the Skuld, the slavers and raiders that initially invaded the old world and drove the people out to come and settle here in the Ironlands, Tamara didn't really have a great childhood, but she joined the Iron Wardens to throw off the stereotypes of her Skuld heritage, and she was assigned to Mournfield. Basically, the last place anyone wants to be. It's a terrible little town. It's always flooded. It's exposed to the elements. It's isolated from everywhere else. But she's making the most of it. So, that was part of session 0. But now, the thing that is going to kick off Tamara's adventure and throw her into the Ironlands as a whole, we need her inciting incident. I was agonizing over this all week. I've been thinking, like, what's it going to be? Is she going to do this to get out into the world? Is she going to do that? But I made sure that I did not pre-write anything. I said, I'm going to do this completely at random. We're going to find out what happens right here and right now. I have not prepared anything else before this. So, the inciting incident has to be something personal. It has to be something dramatic. And I think it's going to arise out of whatever trouble the town of Mournfield runs into. So we're going to go over to our oracles here, and we are going to roll on the settlement trouble oracle. And it's got a whole bunch of different options here, and this is going to define our inciting incident. So I'm keen for this. Okay, so let's roll on this table. What is the settlement trouble in Mournfield? Oh, wow, that's a great way to start it out. There's going to be 2 at the same time. We rolled, we got a 92, so now we roll twice to see what happens. Okay, so 2 things are happening at once here. Let's check it out. So the first one, provisions are scarce. Okay, so supplies are running low in the town. And a rival settlement. Okay. So, if we're to combine those 2, it seems that there is a rival settlement that is preventing provisions from reaching the town. Now, Mournfield is very isolated, so it's probably hard enough to get any sort of resources out there as it is, but if there's a rival settlement involved, that could be interesting. Problem is, Mournfield is isolated, so the settlement might not be a human settlement. This could belong to one of the Firstborn. Because if you have a look in the new supplement that came out for Ironsworn, Delve, which I do have here, there is a type of Firstborn called Atanya. Let me call it up here. Here we go. The Atanya, which are a type of Firstborn that live in the sea. And they're basically described as, it's sort of like Jason Momoa with as Aquaman, but dressed as a barbarian. So this is kind of cool. They like to hunt and fish in the sea. So this could be the settlement that is rivaling with Mournfield. Okay, so this settlement is probably one that Mournfield knows about, but tends to avoid, because you don't tangle with the Firstborn if you can help it. So let's put this in our thing here. Let's put there inciting incident. The nearby Atania settlement is preventing provisions from reaching Mournfield. So they're probably attacking the fishing ships. Fishing boats are being attacked and driven off. There is no food coming in from the sea, and the people may soon starve. It's up to the Iron Wardens to root out the reason for the sudden aggression from the Atania. Okay. So that's going to be our inciting incident here. So if we'll go over to our character sheet, we can put it here: secure provisions for Mournfield by stopping the Atania's raids. Okay, and I think we'll probably set this. This is probably a fairly formidable vow, I should imagine. This is going to be pretty tough, especially if we're going at it solo. Because Mournfield, the provisions are scarce, they can't afford to send too many people out, so Tamara is basically it. She has to be the one to go out and stop them. And we'll start this, I think, sort of in medias res. So this has been a problem that has been alerted to us, and we are already preparing to set out. So, for those of you who haven't played Ironsworn before, but might be familiar with the Powered by the Apocalypse system, it's very similar in that everything is governed by moves. And you roll to perform your moves. However, with Ironsworn, rather than simply trying to roll as high as possible, you get challenge dice. And I've got another little PDF over here. Let me just call it up here. Here we go. Here is the basic rules summary. So whenever you make a move, you roll your action die, which is a d6. You add whatever relevant stat you might be applying to it, any other additions, and that becomes your action score. And then you roll 2d10, and you compare your action score to each of the challenge dice. You don't add the challenge dice together, you compare the action score to both of them. If your action score beats both, that's a strong hit. If it only beats one of them, it's a weak hit. If your action score is lower than both, it's a miss. And depending on what move you're doing, it will determine just exactly what that means. So, if we are going to take on the Atania ourselves, we are going to have to swear an iron vow. And that is a move. So, on a strong hit, we are emboldened and it is clear what we must do next. On a weak hit, there's more questions than answers. On a miss, we've got no idea what we're doing and we're immediately going to lose momentum. But, fortunately, we are swearing this vow to our community, and we have a bond with Mournfield, which is going to give us a +1 to this roll, which is going to help. So, we're going to swear an iron vow. We roll. we're using heart as our stat that we're using, which is the standard thing. And we've got a +1 modifier because this is with Mournfield. So let's swear this iron vow. Oh boy. Well, that's a great start. We immediately have a miss. So we're going to lose 2 momentum right off the bat. Like I said, great start. Because we're not going to give up straight away, but we're still going to press on. But there is going to be an obstacle in our way. And we've got to envision what that is. But I think the most obvious thing is there's not enough boats. There's no secure boat that can take Tamara along the coast to find these Atanya, because the boats have all been damaged in the raids. So we're going to have to try and find a boat and maybe help repair it or something, just so that we can set out. Okay, well, like I said, off to a great start. So we'll put that in there. Tamara swears to track down the Atanya and bring back the stolen provisions. However, none of the boats in Mournfield are in serviceable condition, and sailing out is currently impossible. Okay, so we're gonna have to do something to get us sorted here. So I think we're going to have to try and get a boat set up somehow. So let's see if we can secure an advantage, because the people of Mournfield probably need some convincing to get us going. They probably need some convincing to get them to help, because they're scared, they're tired, they're hungry. But I think we can try and get them to help us out here. So let's secure an advantage. I think Tamara's gonna try and rally a few of the people to help her get a boat together. So I think, would this be a compel move? I don't think we're trying to persuade people. I think we're just trying to gather people together, because they'll help if they want. But let's see. Let's try and make some preparations here. Get as many people together as we can to secure an advantage. So let's do it with heart, because we are with loyalty and courage. Let's give that a roll. And I don't think we get... Can we get a modifier of +1, because again it's with our community? I don't know. Let me see. No, I don't think we get a modifier on this from what I can tell. But let's see what we can do. Let's submit. Yes! Strong hit. Fantastic. So we can now take control and make another move to try and get everything put together. Or we can prepare to act, which I think we're going to prepare to act and get back that momentum that we lost, because yeah, we kind of need the momentum. But let's see if we can put a boat together for us. So let's face danger. I think this will count as a face danger. Face danger is sort of like your basic catch-all move. in a lot of ways. If you're not sure how to do something, you usually face danger to do it. So let's try and face danger. I think this will probably be with expertise, I think, because we are trying to put something together. We're trying to put a boat together. I want to check something here. Let's see. When you face danger, gather information on secured advantage related to your knowledge of watercraft, water travel, or aquatic environments or creatures. Add +1 and take a +1 momentum on hit. This is our waterborne asset, because Tamara knows her ways around boats. So I think we'll get a +1 to putting this boat together. So we're going to face danger. We're going to do it with wits, because we are putting a boat together. And we'll give ourselves a +1 thanks to our waterborne. And we'll roll that. Yes, another strong hit. So we get +1 momentum for that. And we have put our boat together. Fantastic. Okay. So we're ready to set out now. We've got our iron vow and we're ready to set out. We haven't made any progress on the vow yet. This does not count as progress because this was the obstacle to get by. Also, a thing about failure, particularly with a miss. There is this cool optional rule that has come with the Delve expansion where you have a failure track. Now, whenever you roll a miss, you can put a tick on your failure track. And once your failure track fills up far enough, you can roll on it to see if you get some extra experience. So rolling a miss is not the huge punishment that it used to be, which I'm very grateful for. But anyway, we have our boat now. Tamara's got to go out and find these guys. So firstly, she's got to find out where she has to go. So let's gather some information. And again, we'll get a +1 on this because we're doing it with the people of Mournfield. So we'll gather some information and see if we can find out more about where the supplies went missing, where the fishing boats were attacked. So let's gather some information. We use wits for this one. And we get a +1 modifier. Let's check it. Ugh. No. Okay. So on a miss, your investigation unearths a dire threat or reveals an unwelcome truth that undermines your quest. Pay the price. Oh boy. Okay. Well, it's another check mark for the failure track, so that's something. But now we got to pay the price. So let's pay the price and see what happens and see if it makes sense. Because sometimes it doesn't really work, but you're encouraged to just like go with the fiction if that happens. But let's pay the price and see what happens. A friend, companion, or ally is put in harm's way. Ooh. Okay. So it's worse than we thought. There is not just supplies missing in the face of this raid, there are people missing. I think that's a good enough thing. There are actually hostages as part of this raid. The Atanya have taken some prisoners as well. And we don't know where they are. Okay, well, it looks like we're just going to have to try and find them. I'd imagine we have a vague idea of where the Firstborn settlement is, this rival settlement, because we would know to avoid it. So let's see. I think we can just undertake our journey and see if we can get there. So we can undertake a journey. I'd say this would probably be a dangerous journey because it might not be particularly far, but because we don't know exactly where it is, that's what makes it dangerous. Okay, so let's fill in some more of this here. Okay, so Tamara rallies the townsfolk of Mournfield into repairing a small boat for her to use. She attempts to learn more about the raid in the process, only to learn that there have been hostages taken in the attack. Tamara only has a vague idea of where the Atanya settlement is, but she will sail out to find it anyway, because now lives are immediately on the line. Okay, right, so we are going to undertake the journey, and this is going to be a dangerous journey, so we shall put it on our progress track. Journey. Find the Atanya settlement. And we said this was a dangerous one, because it's not too far, but we don't know where it is. So we're going to undertake the journey, and we roll wits. And once again, we're setting off from a community that we share a bond with, so we'll get +1 to the first roll, which is handy. So, roll it. Weak hit. Okay, good. So, we can mark progress on there, like so. However, we suffer 1 supply. So we go to our supply here, we drop that to 4. Okay, but still, we made progress, just like that, and we've reached a waypoint. So let's discover this. It will probably be out on the coastal waters location here, because we are sailing along the ragged coast. So let's roll for it. Okay, a harbor of some kind. I can't imagine there would be too many harbors out here, but it may have been an abandoned harbor. I think this harbor might have once been a place where humans lived, and Mournfield is sort of like the last bastion of humanity on this little part of the ragged coast. So let's just minimize it there. So we're around here. Let's minimize that down. So we're sort of heading, I think we're heading north a little bit. So we'd be heading sort of along this area here. And I think the Atanya settlement is somewhere here. It's in one of these long fjords heading into the mainland. But there was probably a harbor out here that they destroyed a long time ago. Let's check in with our oracles here and see if anything significant is worth finding here at this harbor. Let's say, let's give a 50-50 chance. Anything of importance out here? No. Okay, so we're just gonna sail on by the remains of this harbor. Nothing particularly of interest here. So let's undertake our journey once again. Keep sailing. So we're rolling for wits. No modifier this time. And it's a miss. Oh dear. Waylaid by a perilous event. Once again, we're going to have to pay the price. Oh no. Oh well, we get another mark on the failure track. That's something. And paying the price on the oracle. What happens? Your action has an unintended effect. Okay. So, as I was setting out, There was an unintended effect. Maybe because I stopped in a place where the Firstborn have been known to go, they probably seen me coming. I think that's it. I think Tamara has been spotted by the Atanya, sort of like the rear guard that are sort of keeping watch along the coast. And now they know that I'm coming. I've sort of triggered their alarm, as it were. So let's see. Oracle, will they attack me straight away? Or will they rather go out and raise the alarm further down the line? So are they going to ambush me now, or is there going to be a bunch of them waiting for me the next time I slip up? So let's do it 50-50. Yes, okay, so they are going to attack me straight away. So there's a scout out there, and he sees me checking in at the harbor, and as I'm about to set off, he bursts out of the water and engages in combat with Tamara. And I think this is going to be an ambush as we enter the fray. So here we go into combat. Right. Well, we're going to make a new progress thing here. Foe, Atanya Scout. And if I recall correctly from the rulebook, an Atanya is a dangerous foe. So he deals 2 harm with every strike that he lays upon us, but we do 2 harm to him with every strike we land upon him. Okay, so first, we're getting into combat, so first we're going to enter the fray. So we see who's in control. We're going to roll wits because he ambushed us. We don't get a modifier for this, so just roll it. Nice. Okay, it's a weak hit. So I can either gain 2 momentum or take the initiative. I'm going to take the initiative. It's always good to have initiative because then you can strike rather than clash. Because if you're clashing, he has a chance to hit you, whereas if you strike, you have more of a chance to deal more damage. Okay, so I'm going to strike at this guy as he bursts from the water. So let's roll, and we're using iron because we are melee focused. No modifier on this. Strike. Nice, it's a strong hit. So I inflict 2 harm because I'm using a deadly weapon, which is my axe, and I get an additional 1 harm because I got a strong hit. So let's put that on there. So that is, wow, okay. So that's 6 progress already. Just like that. Pow! As he bursts out of the water, I see him moving in the water and immediately just bring the axe down. Down! On top of him. And because I've rolled a strong hit, I can roll to end the fight, like immediately. Because that is a decisive hit. So it's already a 6. So that's a chance. So I'm gonna give it a go. Let's end the fight. And I've got 6 progress filled. So let's see if it happens. Oh, that could not have been better. Oh, look at that. I rolled a 6 because of the progress, and I rolled double 1s on the challenge dice. That is fantastic. So this means because I matched the dice, I also get an opportunity. So I think, okay, I've got an opportunity here. Right, okay, this is the opportunity. This is what happens. The Atanya bursts out of the water and charges towards me. He's got a spear. He's like rushing at me with the spear, I immediately bring up my shield, batter it aside, and smack him clean in the shoulder, between the shoulder blades with the axe. Just bam! Embeds it in his back, and he's got this kind of weird translucent skin, and this like ichor like blue blood just immediately starts leaking. But before he can die, I like plant my knee into his back, and I sort of like twist the axe a little bit, and I demand of him, Tamara demands of him, where is your settlement? Where have you taken the prisoners and our food? And I think we are going to compel him to tell us what's going on, and we'll take a +1 because of the opportunity. This opportunity will allow us to get a +1 on this compel. So since we're intimidating, we're going to roll iron, and we're going to get a +1 because of that opportunity. And we'll roll. Oh, it's a miss. Okay. I don't think anything particularly bad's going to happen. It's just he's not going to give us any information. I think I hit him too hard. As like I'm trying to, as I twist the axe to try and get some information out of him, he just dies. He just instantly eyes glaze over. Ugh. Sorry, Tamara, you don't know your own strength. You hit him a little too hard there. But nevertheless, we have cleared this foe, so we can delete him there. Well done. We'll mark another thing for the failure track because of that miss. But we haven't gotten any closer to finding this place. So let's undertake the journey again and see if we can find it. Let's go. Roll with wits. No modifier. Weak hit. Okay, great. So we continue on. Once again, we suffer another bit of supply, but we do mark progress. We've got 2 more there. So where we ended up on this waypoint. Let's check the oracle. Let's check the coastal waters location. What are we at? There's a cove. Okay, we're sailing by a cove. And oracle, any particular thing of interest in this cove? Is something going to happen here? See? No. Okay. Nothing of significance at this waypoint either. So we just keep going. We keep sailing. Let's undertake the journey once again. Another weak hit. Okay, we're starting to run a little bit low on supplies. But we've made it. So now, let's see if I wonder if we can complete the journey. Maybe we've reached our destination. Because we've already got a 6, and that's not bad. So I'm going to try it. Maybe we stumble across it. Let's see. We've got 6 in the filled progress. So let's see if we reach our destination. We did it. Okay, it's a weak hit. We arrive, but face an unforeseen hazard or complication. Okay, it's unforeseen. I think what happens is we're sailing along the coast, and we can see, we just catch a glimpse as we're sailing. We can see the dark hair and translucent skin of an Itanya suddenly disappear into like a little crevice or a rocky passageway where the water is flowing in, and we figure, okay, that's it there. That's where they're camped up. But there's a bunch of sharp rocks, and like the sea is stormy and rocky and everything. It's going to be hard to get in there. So to get in there, we're going to have to face danger, I think. And we're probably going to have to do it. Could we do this with expertise? Or is this more of an edge roll for precision? I think we could get away with wits. I think because Tamara knows her deal with boats and everything, through Keen, with her expertise in boats and her waterborne asset to get a +1, I think we can attempt to sail through these rapids to get into where the Atanya are. Okay, well first we can mark progress. We can clear this one. We can clear that because we have completed our journey. We are there. And also we can mark progress on our vow to secure the provisions, because we found the place now. Okay, so let's see if we can get in there. We're going to face danger. We're going to do it with wits. And we're going to get a +1 for our waterborne. Let's submit that, and yes! Strong hit. Fantastic. We're going to get a +1 momentum for that. And with Tamara's expertise in sailing, she manages to successfully navigate her little dinghy through the sharp rocks and into the sort of fjord, this deep fjord where the Atanya are holed up. Okay, great. Right, so now that we're here, we've got to get into the Atanya settlement. So I think this would be a good opportunity to use the delve extension, because I think we can make the settlement itself a delve, because this is probably going to be a sea cave, right? This is going to be the sea cave, and I think this will count as a fortified sea cave, because it is in here that the Atanya are holed up. They obviously live here. They're hunkered down, and they are going to be defending it from Tamara as she enters. So let's create a new site. So we'll call this the Atanya camp. The objective is to locate the hostages and provisions. The theme is fortified, and the domain is sea cave. Okay. So again, I think this is going to be a dangerous thing to get in here. Okay, and now we can flesh it out with some denizens. So I think obviously a common thing that we're going to find are the Atanya. They're going to be quite common in here because they live here, obviously. Okay, if we check out the denizens for delve, we've got stuff like the chitter over here, which is like a little large insect thing that lives in caves. We've got shroud crabs. So I think the shroud crabs are going to be very common here. Fill in there. And I think, I don't know. Maybe that's all we really know for now. It's like, these are the kind of things that could very commonly turn up. So we'll just put the shroud crab, the chitter, and the Atanya in there for now as our most likely things to find. Okay, So we have got this here. We are going to use the delve to discover the site. I don't know why this has a I don't know why this has a role. I think this is if you're returning. Let me just see. What does that do? Okay, yeah, that's only if I've been here once before already, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, so we are now going to delve the depths and see what we find. So we're going to do this with wits because that's our best option. Because edge and shadow, we're not particularly stealthy, we're not particularly hasty. We're going to be doing this nice and carefully. So let's delve the depths, and we're doing it with wits. No modifier on this one. Whoo! Okay. Whew! Didn't roll so well, but the challenge dice were ones, so that's fine. We got a strong hit. We get to mark progress and find an opportunity. So we're going to go to our progress. We're going to go to the site. We're going to mark progress here. And we're going to find an opportunity. So we go to the Delve Oracles. Is it here in the Delve Oracle? No, we're sorry. It's in the moves. It's in the moves. So we're going to find an opportunity. A clue offers direction or insight. Okay. This will give us some momentum, I think. We'll gain +1. We found some scraps of the provisions, like the remains of some fishing nets, perhaps, that the Atanya left behind. So we know we're in the right place for sure, because those are human-made nets. I haven't actually been filling any of this in, have I? Let's okay. Let me fill some of this in quickly. Tamara sailed up the coast in search of the Atanya settlement, only to be ambushed by a rearguard. She dispatched the Firstborn with ease, but was unable to glean any information from him. Fortunately, it was not much longer before she found the settlement herself. Delving into the fortified sea cave, she soon found evidence of the raid. Discarded, human-made fishing nets. Okay, so we know what's up. Let's keep going. Let's delve further. We're gonna keep delving into the depths. And we're using wits. We're still using wits. Let's go. Oh, that's a miss. Oh, no. Okay, so now we're going to reveal a danger after we mark another tick on our failure track. Okay, so reveal a danger. Here we go. You face a perplexing mystery or a tough choice. Let's see exactly where we are in this situation. So let's roll, because we got fortified sea cave, because we haven't rolled for the features here technically. So yeah, I sort of missed that. Sorry about that, everyone. But let's roll D100. Oh, you transition into a new theme. Okay. Very interesting. Okay, so this could be the perplexing mystery. So, it's a new theme. Let's roll for a new theme. Wild. Okay. So now we're not going to be using the fortified theme anymore. It's going to be the wild theme. And wild can be very different. I think I may have mixed some of this up a little bit, but I like the idea that this perplexing mystery, it suddenly transitions into a wild theme. I did get my oracles a little bit mixed up here, but I think it fits. I think this still fits. So all of a sudden, rather than being a fortified settlement, it's suddenly this complete mess of weird caves and all kinds of things like that. Very easy to get lost down here. So yeah, I think that's what it is. Suddenly this doesn't look like a structured settlement anymore. It's just a completely wild lair almost. So I think that's what the danger is here. Well, let's keep delving and see if we can see what happens. Right, so let's keep with what we're doing now. Let's roll for another thing here. So 73 for features in a sea cave is a freshwater inlet. Okay, so we're getting into some area. There's some fresh water pouring in here, probably like a mountain spring or something. Okay, and let's delve the area. Let's delve the depths of this bit. And again, we're doing it with wits. Okay, a weak hit. So, with a weak hit, we got to roll on this table here to see what happens. So let's roll another D100. 37. Mark progress and reveal a danger. Okay. Sight. Mark progress. And we reveal a danger. So let's reveal a danger. Check the domain card at 39. And domain sea cave. Flooding. Oh, good grief. Okay. So this isn't just a little freshwater inlet. It seems to be just a little trickle, but I imagine it's one of those things that it sort of like periodically fills up, and then once the pressure like gets too much, all of a sudden it rushes out and periodically like flushes into the cavern itself. So we're going to have to try and stand against this flood that suddenly comes in. And I think this is going to be iron. We're going to try and like stand our ground. Tamara sees this flood onrushing, and she like immediately latches onto a nearby rock, brings up her shield. I wonder, would her shield apply in this case? Yeah, I think her shield bearer can apply here. She's gonna like bring her shield up to try and divert as much of the water as she can. So we'll get a +1 facing danger here. Okay, this should be good. Let's well, I say that too soon. Okay, we're gonna face danger. We're gonna use iron to endure, and we're gonna get a +1, raising the shield. Roll it. Weak hit. Oh, I rolled as high as possible as I could on the action score, and I still only get a weak hit because one of the challenge dice was a 10. Ugh. Fine. So, on a weak hit, I think this is going to slow me down, so we'll take a blow to momentum on that one. So it's going to knock the wind out of Tamara for a little bit. Okay, let's record some of this here. the fortified caves soon gave way to wild, random caverns that look easy to get lost in. This was further complicated by periodic flooding, which Tamara endured. Okay. Whew. Well, that was something. So let's keep going. We're gonna go into the next bit. We're gonna wait for the onrushing water. Tamara stands her ground, and as the water slowly subsides, she's ready to press on further. So let's see what our feature is for this next bit. Let's roll 75. Okay, so there's still a lot of fresh water coming in here. I think that's why it suddenly flooded so quickly. There's a lot of fresh water feeding in into these caves, which is interesting. But let's delve. Let us delve the depths. Again, we're sticking with wits. We're keeping our wits about us here. Okay, weak hit. So again, we're going to roll D100 and see what happens on this table. 53. Mark progress. Okay, nothing untoward is happening here. So that's good. So we'll mark 2 more progress. Right. We're gonna roll again. See what's coming up next. 61. Okay. We're in a flooded chamber now. So it's getting this constant onrushing of water. It seems to gather a little bit in this area. Maybe this is where that onrush of flooding came from before. We sort of like into this room that's sort of slowly filling up with water once again. Like it gets to a certain point, and then I don't know. Maybe it's sort of like a dam. Maybe it's a dam that the Firstborn have put together, sort of like out of seaweed. They've sort of like strung this almost kind of thick seaweed net to hold back the water as much as possible, and then once it reaches a certain point, it just all kind of like bursts out. And maybe the seaweed is magical. Maybe the seaweed sort of like re-knits itself together after each periodic flooding. So it's sort of like an ongoing security system that they got in here. Maybe that's it. Okay, cool. Right, so well, anyway, we're in the flooded chamber, and we're gonna delve, see what we can find. Another weak hit. Okay, so once again, we're gonna roll the D100. 33. Mark progress and reveal a danger. Okay. Okay. So let's go to our site. We're going to mark progress, and we're going to reveal a danger. We're getting quite far. So maybe we're quite deep in it now. Maybe this is where the Atanya are, and this is where they're guarding stuff. Let's see. Well, let's see. Let's try rolling on the reveal a danger, and let's see what happens. Check the theme card. Okay, 16. Theme card in the wild. Denizens guided by a greater threat. Interesting. A denizen guided by a greater threat. Let's roll here on the denizens. Let's roll on the denizens here, and let's see what it is. 67. Okay. 67 is still common. I think... Okay, this is going to be an Atanya. This will be an Atanya. But he's not the main Atanya. He's like a guard. Maybe the Maybe he's just like a wandering guard. He's not the leader by any means. Okay, so we're gonna enter a fight. So we're gonna enter the fray against this guy. Let's make another. Keep doing that. Fun, yeah. And they are dangerous. So let's see if we can enter the fray, how we enter the fray with them. And we're facing off against our foe, so we're rolling heart for this one. No modifiers there. It is. It's a miss. Oh dear. Okay, so mark of failure. And he has the initiative. So we're going to pay the price. And pay the price. Person or community you care about is exposed to danger. Ooh, okay. So he's not just getting into a fight with us. He has one of the hostages with him.